break-in, the gallery, the jewels, the chase. A lift truck parked beneath a palace of glass and gold. Two figures in high-viz vests rise toward a balcony that once dazzled kings. Inside, alarms argue with marble, and a glass case blooms into shards. 7 minutes later, Paris wakes to a headline it never thought it would read again. A royal jewel heist at the Louvre. Swift, surgical, and aimed at the living heart of France's crown jewel collection. The clock starts just after opening time. The thieves arrive looking like contractors. Yellow-orange safety vests, tools, a furniture lift. The ruse works because it's ordinary. In a city forever fixing itself, scaffolds and hoists are wallpaper. They extend the lift to a first-story balcony on the Galerie that gilded corridor where the sun seems to collect on the ceiling and cut into a window. Inside, they move with the confidence of rehearsal. Straight to two cases, straight to Napoleonic era sets, straight to tiaras, necklaces, brooches that once pinned history to a dress. 4 minutes in the gallery. Out again with a haul measured not just in euros, but in centuries. The target isn't random. The Galerie is the Louvre's jewel box. Louis XIV's Ode to Light, rebuilt after a fire, restored until it gleams. It's where France keeps the survivors. The Sancy, the Regent, the Hortensia, and a curated selection of crowns, tiaras, and parures that escaped revolutions, auctions, and time itself. It is not a quiet corner, it is a stage. And on this morning, the thieves write themselves into its program with terrifying ease. Let's name what vanished. From the sapphire parure linked to Queen Marie-Amélie and Queen Hortense, a tiara, a necklace, and a single earring. Yes, a single one. The other remains. From the emerald parure associated with Empress Marie-Louise, a necklace and earrings, stones that once telegraphed empire from a distance. From the glory days of Empress Eugénie, a diamond bodice bow, a reliquary brooch, and a tiara of diamonds and pearls so unmistakable even a blurred photo could make a historian wince. These are not generic baubles, they are names in metal and light. And yet the story is not only the 8 pieces that disappeared, it is also the one crown that got away. In their scramble toward the lift, the thieves drop a crown, Empress Eugénie's crown, onto the pavement. Think about the panic that implies. The most cinematic object in the hall, suddenly too big for the cut window, too awkward for a clean exit. They abandon it and bolt, leaving behind a battered emblem of the Second Empire. Later, curators whisper relief. Damage, yes, but restorable. A crown survived by being too much for the opening the thieves made. How fast? Under 8 minutes, sidewalk to sidewalk? How close? 4 minutes in the gallery itself. How did they get away? A slow-motion vanishing act. Down the lift, kit tossed, crown dropped, a flicker of fire set to the lift basket to muddy forensics, and 2 scooters snapping them into traffic along the Seine, out toward the périphérique, south on the A6. You can trace their exit on a map like a finger dragged through dust. The alarms did ring, guards did respond. But the choreography favors boldness. Smash, grab, split, the kind of tactic that assumes cameras will see you and dares the response time to keep up. In the aftermath, critics point to misaimed cameras, aging systems, and a modernization plan still in progress. The shock isn't that a museum was robbed. The shock is that this museum, this gallery, could be breached by the oldest trick in the book. Dress like you belong and move like you've done it before. Let's dwell on the pieces themselves because their stories explain the thieves' choices. The Marie-Amélie/Hortense sapphires, oceanic blue and silvered settings, compress the last Bourbon king and Napoleon's stepdaughter into a single shimmer. The Marie-Louise emeralds, green as a cathedral window, speak in the vocabulary of empire, a gift language where carats equaled confidence. And Eugénie's ornaments, bow, brooch, tiara, translate mid-19th century power into a glittering grammar everyone understood. Diamonds and pearls arranged like a song you could hum across a ballroom. But the thieves leave behind the obvious headliners. The Regent Diamond, a 140-carat legend with a ledger of tragedies, and the Sancy and Hortensia, stones whose names read like chapters in a world history book. Why? Some say case design, some say time, some say they feared the heat around celebrity stones. Whatever the reason, the gallery's brightest celebrities remain, staring through glass at an empty place where the parures once made conversation with them across the aisle. Here's a paradox every jewel thief learns the hard way. The more famous the piece, the less it's worth on the black market. You can't fence a tiara everyone is searching for. You can break it, pop stones, melt metal, grind hallmarks, and turn a signature into silence. But every step down that path murders provenance and shaves value. If you're ruthless, you salvage stones. If you're smarter, you seek a ransom or a quiet return through intermediaries. If you're foolish, you sit on history until history finds you. Law enforcement moves quickly. Arrests follow within days. One suspect stopped at Charles de Gaulle as he tries to leave the country. DNA on abandoned gear tightens the net. Prosecutors hint at a crew bigger than the two in cuffs. The televised walkbacks begin. Partial admissions, partial denials, and the familiar refrain that the jewels are still missing. In the absence of a recovery, the value grows twice. Once in money, once in myth. Meanwhile, the national conversation shifts from spectacle to stewardship. The Louvre is self-insured, like many state museums. No private policy to cash, no de-risking out clause. That means the loss is cultural before it's financial. You can price diamonds, you can't price Empress Eugénie's handwriting in gold. A tiara is not simply a tiara. It is a mirror that remembers who stood in front of it. When it vanishes, a little piece of the mirror goes with it. Now to the work no one sees. Conservators examine Eugénie's dropped crown with the intensity of surgeons. Bent elements mapped, broken settings cataloged, micro scratches that tell the story of a case too small for the object forced through it. The early verdict, a delicate restoration is possible. You can hear the sigh in that sentence. In a week of loss, the crown is the one yes. Back in the gallery, the absences are loud. Place cards become placeholders. Audio guides rewrite themselves in apology. The room feels unbalanced, like a quartet missing a violin. Tourists lean in close to the Regent, reading its label with new reverence. A 140-carat survivor, a diamond that rode in the hilts and crowns of monarchs, and somehow outlived a heist by being too notorious to touch. Nearby, the Sancy and Hortensia sit like elders who have seen worse and lived to tell it. Here's a did you know that changes the stakes. France has been here before. 1792, the garde meuble looted, the crown jewels scattered, some stones gone forever, some found years later in the oddest places. The 20th century wrote its own chapters. 1911 for a certain portrait with a famous smile. 1998 for a Corot that still hasn't come home. The Louvre has a memory for theft, and that memory shapes policy. Audits, overhauls, arguments between curators and security chiefs about how to keep a museum without turning it into an airport. The question everyone asks, where are the jewels now? If you know the trade, you know the roads. One route breaks the sets, pearls restrung, diamonds recut, sapphires and emeralds remounted into pieces that can claim to be grandmothers. Antique style, modern birth certificate. Another route keeps them whole for a private collector who wants the thrill of owning a headline. A third route waits for a back-channel deal, a recovery dressed up as a miracle, a payout disguised as expenses. The most dangerous route pretends time is a vault. It isn't. Time is a spotlight. Look closer at the timeline and you see the thief's greatest risk, speed. 4 minutes leaves fingerprints in the air, poorly stowed tools, DNA on helmets, tiny slivers of glass that carry the room back onto their clothes. Paris loves cameras, and the Seine records what the eye misses. Video trails, traffic hits, phone pings. You can beat a guard to a gallery. Beating forensics is harder. The gallery itself will change after this. Expect new glass chemistries, revised camera angles, and sensor arrays that don't just scream. They guide response like a GPS. Expect cases that can suffocate a smash, laminates that web and cling, hinges that lock from within, alarm loops that tell security exactly which square meter just cried for help. Expect more humans too, because nothing sees audacity like a trained eye that knows the rhythm of a room. But technology is only half the answer. The other half is philosophy. How do you display living history without leaving it defenseless? The Galerie d'Apollon is not a vault, it's a promise. You go to watch diamonds behave like bottled lightning, to measure your breath against the centuries, to stand where monarchs turned and caught their reflections. A museum that forgets that becomes a warehouse. A museum that forgets risk becomes a news story. The solution lives in the middle. Beauty in reach, danger at bay. And that's where we pause the chase and hold the memory. A tiara is a topography, arches, crescents, motifs that move like music across metal. The ones that vanished were also maps, to Napoleon's domestic alliances, to Bourbon restorations, to Eugénie's steely, extravagant eye. Their loss isn't only a subtraction, it's a silencing of the rooms where they once spoke. Recover them, and you restore conversation. Lose them, and you teach a generation to read history with missing pages. For now, Paris waits. The river keeps its secrets. The scooters have long been parted out. The lift truck becomes a footnote in a warrant. Somewhere there are hands that have held a tiara by its base and felt how surprisingly heavy it is, how cool the metal stays no matter how bright the stones burn. Somewhere there is a case, or a drawer, or a safe where 8 objects sit in the dark and remember being looked at. That memory is the thief's biggest enemy. Objects designed to be seen refuse to disappear. We will end this first act where the thieves almost didn't, at the crown that got away. Bent teeth, scuffed mounts, a profile a little out of true. Eugénie's crown looks like it has survived a battle, because it has. The restoration will be meticulous, the display note rewritten, the scars recorded like the rings of a tree. When it returns to its case, visitors will lean in and learn a new word the gallery earned in October: resilience. The hunt, the laundering, the lockdown. Start with the chase. Investigators rewind the morning like a film, the lift, the balcony, the 4 minutes in the gallery, the panicked drop of a crown, the scooters knifing into traffic. Then come the breadcrumbs, fibers, microscopic glass webbing, glove DNA, and the city's favorite witness, cameras that don't blink. Within days, arrests land. One suspect is stopped at the airport. Another folds under questioning and half admits the role everyone suspected. This wasn't improvisation, it was a crew. Next, the hard question: how do you launder a tiara? Answer: you usually don't. You dismantle it. Pearls get restrung. Diamonds and colored stones are recut into shapes with new identities. Settings vanish into crucibles, hallmarks melt with them. The tragedy: every cut destroys provenance, slicing a story into anonymous sparkle and scrap. There are other routes: ransom via intermediaries, or a hush-hush sale to a collector who wants the thrill of owning a headline. But the smartest thieves know the clock is their enemy. The longer they hold the jewels, the brighter the spotlight burns. Paris answers with a move older than any crown: secure the survivors. Select treasures leave the stage for a deep vault until the gallery is re-armored. New glass chemistries, dead zones closed on camera maps, sensors that don't just scream but steer responders to the right square meter. The philosophy tightens too. Keep a museum, beauty in reach, danger at bay, without turning the Galerie d'Apollon into a bank lobby. Meanwhile, the numbers harden. A damage estimate that makes headlines in a second, grimmer figure that can't be counted: heritage. France doesn't insure its national treasures like a private collection. The loss isn't a payout, it's a wound. That's why even a small win matters. Conservators lift Eugénie's battered crown under bright lamps and whisper the word everyone needs to hear: restorable. The scars will stay, on purpose. They'll read like a date engraved in the metal, the day the crown fell and didn't disappear. So the hunt continues. Door knocks in the banlieues, warrants down the A6 corridor, tips from fences who suddenly want to be patriots. Somewhere a drawer holds 8 objects that were made to be looked at and refuse to be forgotten. That memory is the thieves' problem. It's also the country's advantage. Because in France, jewels don't only belong to history, history belongs to them. Here's the final beat. The gallery will reopen. The empty places will either be home to the recovered or to a story told with light and labels, a silence explained, not ignored. Visitors will lean toward Eugénie's repaired crown and see more than diamonds. They'll see resilience. The one crown that got away, came back, and now carries a lesson in its metal. And somewhere, the thieves who thought 7 minutes could erase centuries will learn the oldest rule in a city that remembers everything. Paris keeps the receipt.